The island of Sodor is a wonderful place. There are lots and lots of engines. Who's that puffing along the track? It's Edward.
Hello, I'm Edward.
Edward is a very fine engine. He is blue with red stripes and has the number 2 painted on his tender. He is often called Edward the Wise. Edward always listens carefully to the other engines. But one day, he listened too carefully to Gordon. Rocky the Crane had arrived on Sodor. Rocky was strong and powerful, but he had no engine. Another engine had to pull him. Gordon called Rocky newfangled nonsense. He snorted that Rocky may be new, but he wasn't really useful. Edward always thought Gordon was right, so he agreed with him. Later, Edward had to pull flatbeds of heavy poles. Rocky offered to help, but Edward didn't want the help of newfangled nonsense. So he puffed off quickly, before the poles had been properly tied down. Edward was so busy thinking about Rocky that he didn't see the red signal in time. He screeched to a halt, and poles tumbled all over the track. Emily and Thomas couldn't puff through. Then Gordon steamed onto the poles and came off the track. It was a terrible mess. Luckily, Edward is a wise engine. He knew that he and Gordon had been wrong to say Rocky wasn't really useful, and now he knew he needed Rocky's help. Edward brought Rocky to the poles.
Go get him, Edward!
And Rocky cleared the tracks in no time. Rocky and Edward became firm friends. Edward is everyone's friend. One day, Edward was chosen for a very special. He was to pull the Duke and Duchess's furniture to their summer house. Spencer was to take the Duke and Duchess. Gordon and James wanted Edward to race Spencer. Edward couldn't let his friends down. But Spencer was faster. He overtook Edward easily. Edward huffed and puffed his hardest. The Duke and Duchess stopped to take some photographs. Spencer was so far ahead in the race, he decided to have a rest. So Spencer snoozed, and Edward puffed. He puffed right past Sleepy Spencer and won the race. Edward felt so happy, his boiler bubbled. The other engines were very proud of Edward, and Edward was quite proud of himself. Edward is old, and Edward is wise. Wise enough to know that being a really useful engine is very important. And having really good friends makes every day on Sodor a happy day.